Evening, merry drinkers. Welcome back. Still the same scorching 30-degree evening here in Christchurch, and I'm looking to follow up the initial Helles Lager by Augustina with another one. So we're still on 300 beers to try before you die, and this Helles, or Pale Lager, is a Spaten. It just translates as spade, and you can see a maltster's spade right on the front. This is a very, very old brewery. I think they go all the way back to 1397, so there's some real heritage there. They are these days owned by AB InBev, so just leave all that aside. This was £3.35 from Trembling Madness. It's in German on the bottom, on the bottle, but they were the very first to develop a Munich Helles back in 1894. That's proudly on the front bit of the bottle, just there. Just says Spaten, Müncher Hell, and on the back it reconfirms it was a brewery developed in 1894. It's got some details that are in German. Interestingly, it has "Don't drink and drive" in English. That's the only English that's on the bottle. I've no idea why that is. It says 5.2%, contains water, malt, or hops, and interestingly, hop extract. I'm not entirely if that agrees with the Reinheitsgebot, but they're owned by AB InBev, so they're always pushing the edges of the envelope. It's half a litre, best before March 2027, and it has an official München origin stamp on the back of it. Let's crack her open. Let's see what we get. As we are on AB InBev, the Dark Empire Stormtrooper glass is back. I've sacked off the Carling one. It seems to be reducing the scores of the beers. This is another classic gold colour. Loads of fizz in there, settling down. Not as big a head on this one. There is a nucleation point on this Stormtrooper glass, but that's Portsmouth. That has very, very lazy bubbles just popping up along the side. There's a slight bit of haze. I don't know if that's just the chill. Little bit of chill. That beer's been in the fridge a long time. I've been building myself up to this style. This head seems to be lingering around. I'm going to blame the Carling glass. I'm not using that again. So it's got a really nice one finger collar of foam. Some really nice lazy bubbles going up on it. Same classic golden colour. Pale lager. This doesn't have as much on the nose. It's interesting doing these two back to back. This has a bit more citrus, not as sharp lemon, a bit more indescript limey, lemony citrus. But it doesn't have that same bready, biscuity, malty sensation that you got off the Augustina. I've still got that bowl here. Yeah, you can still smell that. So this is not going nose blind. Very, very little off the top of that. But let's stop that getting stuck in. Cheers. Forget to do a picture. It's light, very drinkable. Carbonation is lovely and soft. Not as sweet as the previous beer. This has got a little bit more. I don't want to say different quality to it. It's just got less. There's less to this. But yeah, nice light-bodied It's sweet again. There's less carbonation, which I'd usually be a fan of, but in a lager I think you really need it. You need it to push the taste around your mouth, and this is dying a little bit. And I know they're supposed to be lightly hopped, but I'm getting very, very, very little off that. It's probably following up a bit of a cracker. Let's see what Roger's got to say. Why is this in the book? I'm having my doubts. I'm having Kolsch vibes again. This is Spaten. Traces its brewing roots back to 1397 with a commercial rather than monastic production, dating from 1522. In 1807, Gabriel Seldermeyer, the elder master brewer of the royal court, bought the company, whose Spaten name means spade. The logo shows a maltster's shovel, it's not ready. In 1839, his son Gabriel the Younger took over and began energetically to transform the production of beer and make use of new technologies of the Industrial Revolution. Together with the Viennese brewer Anton Dreher, he visited Britain to see how new pale ales were made. He built a new brewery in 1857 on the site of deep cellars, and with the aid of ice-making machines, turned his earlier experiments into full-blown commercial production of beers by the method of cold fermentation. As I explained in the introduction, this section, the first lager beers in Munich were brown in colour, but in 1893, Seldermeyer launched his first pale or Helles beer in the city. It would be hyperbolic to suggest it marked a transformation of brewing. Most of the Munich brewers did not begin to brew pale lagers until the 1920s. Such was the devotion to dark or dunkel beers. But Spaten had produced a benchmark beer, and that style today is a major one alongside wheat beers. Spaten houses lager for 2 months. It's brewed from pale malt and Hallertau hop varieties, so just the same as the Augustiner. There's 22 units of bitterness, just like the Augustiner. Has a lightly toasted malt, gentle hop resins, and delicate lemon fruit aroma and palate, with a quenching finish that is bittersweet to start and ends with a dry, delicate hop. Juicy malt and tangy fruit. Juicy malt and tangy fruit. I'm not too sure I agree with Roger there. I got a feeling this beer's been messed around with a bit. It just fades for me. I don't see where it's going. Scores on the doors. I think I'm going to be a bit harsh. I mean, they're entirely personal. This is just how I enjoy the beer. It's not a measure of the beer's quality in itself. But we're going to be right down at the bottom here. I found the Jever Pilsner very hard to drink. That's not the case here, but it's because it's a bit nondescript. We give the Kolsch, that was a 2. I think we're in and around there. Better or worse than the Kolsch? Maybe slightly better. Let's go 2.2. Not enjoying it. 2.5 and above, I'd have again. 2.5 and below. Well, 2.49 and below, I wouldn't. I'm definitely not buying this again. Appreciate might be completely different on tap in a German beer house, but I've only got the bottles to go for. Disappointed. £3.35. Disappointed with that. 2.2. I just might not be a German beer lover. But until the next time, I think I'll have a little break from the pale lagers and get stuck into something with a bit more of a malt backbone to it. But cheers.